All right, we are now live, everyone. Let me go ahead and welcome everyone to the show. Coming up in comedy, let me bring on my host. Double check, make sure he's here with us. All right, we do see our guest is here. I got him here. We gotta get him on. All right, we have a little bit of technical difficulty, but it'll be taken care of very shortly. Cam Rowe, there he
Hey,
is.
what's going on?
Man, everything. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling fantastic. I forgot my jet lag again. It's okay though.
Look, I see you. You're using your. I see you using your. What's that? The Beijing.
Yeah.
Cocoa bean #5.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to put it in. I didn't realize I was thinning either. Nobody told me I was thinning now.
That's on you, buddy. That's on you. Anyway, man, we got our guest here, so I want to jump into it. We're gonna talk about your thinning hairline, later on.
I look
But
like
today,
LeBron right now.
He's LeBron. Yeah, with the ink sweating up your forehead.
It's crazy, man.
But let's go to get into it, man. We only got it for a short moment, so I want to bring on this lady here, this young lady here, man. She is extremely talented. She's extremely talented, man. She is not only is she an actress, she's a producer, she's a comedian, she's a radio host. Man, she does so much. I'm really interested just kind of see how she fits it all into her schedule, how she does it all, and still keeps her head up, keep her what the lady say, her crown on. So I'm gonna bring her on now. Let me get everything set up for it. Man, people are jumping on like crazy today.
Yeah. What up, Ace? What's going on? What's going on, Melissa?
Okay, now our guest, I see her on here, but we got a request.
Did you say request? You said request?
We're getting ready to go live with Miss Tanjareen Thomas. Man, her work is extraordinary.
Yeah, that's
let me see if we can run. It takes a second for it to come on. Here she comes right now. Hello. Hello, Miss Tanjareen. How are you?
I am fantastic as always. Thanks for having me on, gentlemen. Hey, Kim. Hey, Antoine.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. All right.
Fix this.
Everybody got to work the camera together. Camera angles is everything in this game.
Yes, and they change when you're in a 3-person live, and I haven't done a 3-person live, so I'm just like, okay, I should probably be up here.
Yeah, you look excellent. There we go. Excellent. I remember when we first started. You'd be doing something, you like just see the angle, and I changed it, and the whole show was sideways. So, right.
Been there, understood.
So, kind of want to get into it fast. I know we're on limited time today, so I want to make sure we kind of get deep into your story. I think back to the first time I saw you, we were at a comedy club and we were coming to see Clayton and you were hosting one of the shows. And as we were sitting there, I'm like, who is this? She is killing it today. Like, she is hilarious. Who is this? And all they kept saying, you don't know, that's CT, that's about to be his wife, that's his lady. So you always went down, as CT's lady from there, as men, we categorize, what I'm saying? You see, that's CT. But I wanted to do this interview to kind of get into you and see who you are. Your story is so phenomenal on its own, so powerful. I just wanted to kind of get from the beginning and kind of see, just kind of let us know where you from, how you got into comedy, kind of your story.
I appreciate that. Was that at the comedy union?
I think it was. It was a while ago.
Okay. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, we used to host. It was his show, but I would help him produce it because we were sleeping together and nobody knew that. And they thought we were just friends for the first couple of years. And I wasn't a comedian yet. So I was just a producer and a TV actor, and I was just helping with that. But I would go on stage and just try to, pump everything up and get it started and bring him up. But I wasn't officially a stand-up comedian yet. But what was your question, sir? You know what I like about you? Well, I think it's hilarious. I watched CT's episode and Tyree's episode so far. I don't know how many have you done. How many have y'all done?
5 right now.
Probably
Fourth
4.
one.
You don't actually introduce yourself or the show. You just come on the camera. You look in the camera crazy, like, oh, let me figure this out. Let me wait for my co-host. Okay, he's here. Okay, let me bring on my guest. Okay, bam. Then you just start talking to the guest. You don't host, like, what is this? Tell everybody this.
That's so funny. I thought about that yesterday when I was thinking about, just going over my head today. I was like, make sure you don't just jump into it. Make sure you let everybody know. Welcome, Tanjareen Thomas. Welcome to Coming Up in Comedy with myself, Antoine Dunn, and my host, Cameron Big Fellow Rowe.
What up,
Thank you for pointing it out, though, because I for sure forgot it again today. I thought about it last night. I was like, I've never introduced the show. People just get jumping on, watching it, enjoy it, talk. But no, this is officially Coming Up in Comedy.
Right. And also, can I say we are the, well, I'm going to put my name in it too. We are the founders of The Big Show, right? The Big Show, where we had a lot of, talented people, Clayton Thomas, Tony Baker, and now we have Miss Tanjareen on. So we're, we are rolling. We're rocking and rolling right now. Yeah.
And The Big Show is a big deal. You guys are, I guess, like a live comedy show production company, promotion company. Yeah. You guys have put on some really big shows. So anybody who's coming in here from a guest point of view to watch the guest has no idea of the street cred and comedy cred that you two have as being part of The Big Show. So I just want to make sure.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. Because I'm one of those people, like, I be so focused on getting the job done, the project, that I don't even take time to, like, people compliment you. Is once this is done, it's on to the next one. I don't have no time to bask in no glory. The last one, this time on to the next one. So I do truly thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, but we are here. We want to hear about your story. So tell us, where you come from, and how you just even said it though. I assumed, my 5th grade teacher told me never to assume. You make an ass of you and me. I assumed you came in this in comedy first, but you didn't. You came using television first, production.
Yeah, I'm one of those backwards stand-up comedians. I've been on television doing my thing since like '99. I was super young, doing commercials, doing sitcoms like the show City Guys on NBC, the high school show. I was recurring on there, but I got that from being a stand-up. Being a stand-in on there. So I've been working for a really, really long time. And I've literally and then I did sketch comedy live around Hollywood at different theaters with a troupe of other sketch comics. And there would be like 7 of us, 8 of us on stage doing different characters. I was disrespectful to Whitney Houston in one of mine back in the day because she was still alive. I didn't know. But I was being Whitney Houston with a little wig on. It was super funny. And probably can't post that now because, rest in peace to the queen. But we were just having a really good time. And then that sketch group went from 8 people to 7 people to 6 people to 4 people. Then it was just me and my guy, Dino Shorte, who's a television writer now. And he and I were called Fruity Big Lizard because Dino and Tanjareen. And it was just us 2 on stage. And I was like, man, whenever he goes behind the curtain to change clothes, I'm out here by myself. I'm one person away from doing stand-up. But I'm afraid to do stand-up because if everybody's coming to see me, that pressure's on me. I'm so used to having that crush of a whole sketch team, but the sketch team's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So I was afraid to do it. People said I should try it. I was like, nah, I'm good. I just like sketches. And then people started doing sketches on the internet. And I was like, oh, now I don't have to beg people to come to the show and pay for a ticket. They can just click play. This is even easier. So I continued the sketches on Instagram and Facebook with Big John, CT, and all that. And I was dating CT, and he had told me when we were just friends, he hates when people are his friend or his girlfriend and they start doing comedy because he makes it look so easy. He kept saying that to me. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make sure I don't do comedy now that I'm hanging out with him.
So you're going to stay away from it?
So I stayed away from it for more years. And then in 2015, I was watching a show, I think it was Crashing on HBO. And I was like, baby, you got to watch this show. They're showing a New York point of view of stand-up comedy. And this happened in this last episode, and this happened. And our friends are doing small parts in the background that we know in comedy. And he was like, Tanjareen, you love comedy. You need to do comedy. And I was like, nah, you don't like that. And he was like, no, you really love comedy. I'm taking you to an open mic Wednesday next week. And I was like,
what?
Huh? And he was like, mark your calendar, write some jokes. You're going to open mic. So that day came. and I purposely, accidentally planned a meeting with one of my clients because I also host bar mitzvah parties.
Hold
So
on,
I had a
hold
meeting
on,
with a client
hold on,
at the same
bar
time.
mitzvah party?
I'm the Jews love me and I love the Jews. That's my hashtag. So yes, I've hosted bar mitzvah parties for many years, which is almost close to stand-up comedy because I'm talking to a room full of strangers, 300 to 500 people in a room at a very expensive, extravagant party, and I've got to keep them going for at least 4 hours.
Wow,
I'm afraid to do comedy.
wow, because that.
So he asked me to go to this place. I had a meeting instead, and I was like, "Oh man, babe, I can't make it. I can't do the open mic because I got a meeting." He said, "Okay, I'll take you next Wednesday." And I was like, "Oh, there are other dates, aren't there?" So he put me in his truck and drove me to the open mic, and it was March 15th of 2018. So this month, it's great that you're having me on for Women's History Month, but this month will be my 5-year anniversary of doing comedy. So it's
Excellent. Congrats on that.
So
that's a dope story. What'd you say, Karen?
You actually brought up Women's History Month. How is it being a woman in comedy in Hollywood in this day and age? How would you say the difference is between a woman coming up in comedy and a man coming up in comedy? Like, what challenges do you face with that?
Okay, well, first I want to shout out people that are putting the tangerines and the orange hearts in the chat because those are my Team Tangerine members. So Bright Boy Music, Andrea Lilly, and Emperor Kev, thank y'all for watching. Coming up as a woman in comedy is different for me because one, I don't need it to pay the bills the way other comedians need it, and I'm not scraping to get shows. Like if you're first starting out and you're really, really trying to get booked, guys are like, "Oh, well, you know, I'll let you open up for me on the road if you'll share the hotel with me and let me do this and let me do that." I don't have that experience because one, people know I have a man. People know that my husband is a comedian. He knows them and he knows what's up. Two, I've been on TV for a minute, so they know, okay, if she don't got to do this show, if she don't want to, like she could go do something else. So I haven't had the experience that I was told I was going to have, thank God. But I've had it on TV for sure. Like, so I know what it's like. I've been a woman my whole life, and I know that whenever you're asking a gentleman for an opportunity, like, "Hey, I got this script, I want to pitch to you. Can I have a meeting with you and your team?" It's always, "Well, what you gonna do for me? Oh, you know, what's under that skirt," kind of thing. And it's like, okay, just if I was a guy pitching you the script, you would just set up a meeting. But since I'm a girl, you want to see what I'll do first. And it's like, that's been, you know, that's just showbiz in general because they want to see how far you'll let them take it. And that's why the Me Too movement is so interesting and tricky because it's like there's so many women who said they had to do this or had to do that. It's like you didn't have to, but you put yourself in that situation because you were hoping for an opportunity. And there's many people that we know that are A-list actors who did sleep their way around to get where they are. They're not complaining because they got what they needed from that experience and both parties are happy. But what if you sleep with a guy that you thought was going to hook you up and he didn't? And you can't take him to court. You can't be like,
no,
"Hey,
I know,
officer,
I
hey,
know
judge."
girls who thought I was going to the NBA, and they real mad. They real mad. So, you know, my bad. I thought I was going to. I wasn't lying.
You chose the NBA.
Stupid. They real mad.
They real mad. Well, you know, that happens sometimes, though.
Silly.
I mean, it's a roll of the dice, you know what I'm saying? It's 50-50. It can work out, it don't.
Right.
Right.
You
never know, but you never know. I just feel like if you have your morals and integrity intact before you get into this industry, you're going to be tested, you're going to be tempted. And hey, maybe the person who's coming at you is attractive, he's your type, and you don't care if this goes anywhere or not. Right. You know, live your life, rock out. But if you're only doing it like it Boomerang when Eddie Murphy slept with Eartha Kitt's character because he thought he was gonna get ahead. Marcus. Right. Clearly she wasn't his type. And he ended up doing that. He couldn't tell nobody.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one there. How was speaking of that though, how was the transition from acting to going into comedy? You know, like of course being a woman, you got your own, you know, like what you just talked about. But was it difficult being taken serious? Or was it like, you know how like Clayton was saying, I hate when people try to come into this lane?
Um, I don't think it was difficult being taken seriously. For me, I felt like I had more pressure because I already had a nice
Yeah.
number of followers on social media. I had some seasons on this sitcom and that sitcom. So when they hear that I'm on a show, they're like, oh, I know she's gonna be funny. I'm pulling up. And
I
it's
don't
like,
even.
hold on, hold on,
And
wait,
that's what I was asking. Like
wait.
it's a different avenue into there when people know you for one thing already, and they kind of want to box you in a sense where like your box was she's funny, she's gonna have me die, and it's like whoa, I ain't in that box yet. I'm an
Right.
actress. I do that box.
But luckily, I shocked myself because I've had a really quick, like for example, I first started out and within the second month, I had joined the Uncle Clyde's comedy competition, which is that year-long competition that Flappers does. I didn't want to do it. I was just auditioning for Flappers to get a spot, and then she put me to the side like, you need to get in the competition. I got in the competition, and I won the first round. And I was like, going against people who have been doing comedy for a few years. And I was like, oh, I just started yesterday. Okay, cool. I'm on to something. Then I think I came in second place on the second round. Again, going against people from different parts of the country who have been doing it for longer than me, or some maybe the same time. And this is a year-long competition. So I'm continually doing shows and getting better and better. And then by the third round, it was between me and Preacher Lawson's brother. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? But he won,
Okay.
and I was second place. And it was still a great achievement because I had just started doing comedy. And then right after that, I did the Burbank Comedy Festival, and I was voted one of the best in the fest. So I was like, okay, I'm new, but because I've been doing bar mitzvahs, doing sketch comedy, doing sitcoms, helping host live events, and then helping CT with his extravaganza shows, I think that I had something natural as far as like engaging a room and, reading the room. And so it's worked out in my favor.
I love how you said you tried to do the bar mitzvah meeting instead of doing comedy. You was like, no, today's Rosh Hashanah. I can't do it right now. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm fasting.
we from Southfield, so I mean, Twan like to say Detroit, but we basically from Southfield, so that's a Jewish community for the most part. I mean, it's a lot of black people, but a lot of Jewish people, so I totally get it.
I know. I tease CT because I'm like, you're not really from Detroit, bro. I've been to where you're from. It's the suburb. I've been to your old high school.
Right.
Y'all had a computer lab and a film department with nice equipment. The locker rooms are clean. Like, stop.
For the record, I actually was born in Detroit. I was in Detroit till I was like 16 years old. So I went to the high school that ain't no heat. Yeah, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, my dad got that. Started working at overtime. Mom got that second job. We got to the suburbs. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm actually from there. Before we go further, I want to take this time. We're doing something different for Women's History Month. We want to take questions from our audiences. And you said you got a lot of your team in the comment section, so we do want to open it up for any questions. So anybody in the audience, go ahead, put your comments into the section. We will answer some questions in a little bit.
Any comments from Miss Tanjareen? Come on now, there's a bunch of people in here too.
Okay, they showed us here tonight.
Yeah, thank y'all for
showing us here tonight.
Hey, Bricky baby. Hey, Artie B. He's waving. Cam is the best, Ace Wilcox says. Just working at the McDonald's in South Lyon. Okay, Ace.
Let's go.
Got a good job.
They got overtime over there, so you got to take that. You got to take that. So, it sounds like you from what you're saying, you have like a love for comedy that you didn't even necessarily know about.
Preacher Lawson. He says I'm such a huge
Preacher Lawson in the building.
I'm sorry.
No.
Let me shut up. Guess what?
That's what this show is about, though. We want to show the love, you know what I'm saying? When love come in the building, we take time to acknowledge that. That's just what we do.
I got a question. Right here. It says, how do you balance a successful career and maintain a happy marriage?
Whew. First, I had to take out the word balance out of my vocabulary because it's not, I don't think it's possible to have equal amounts of weight in everything that's important to you. So what I work on is having a harmony. And if everything is harmonious, because I'm not just married, but I'm a housewife. My husband, his love language is acts of service. So I'm constantly cleaning and cooking and being a plate maker and a juice bringer. And I love quality time. So I've got to make the time to sit down and binge our shows together. But then I'm also the CEO of Citric Cinema Incorporated. So I'm also creating content and shooting and editing and then booking shows and promoting the shows. And so the harmony of that is not an easy dance. And the question of how to do it, I think it's because I make a list on paper and pencil with my planner. Yes, I'm old school. I keep a planner. And I write down, when I get up in the morning, I write down what I need to accomplish for the day. And if it has to do with something around the house, like the laundry, which I'm in the middle of doing right now, because I think I do it every 5 days. But I'll write that down, do the laundry, put the laundry away. Okay, follow up with and send my tape to this person, or, you know, design this flyer, edit this reel, reply to comments. Like, I write that all down. And so and then because I'm into colors, as you can see, I like colors. I have one of those old school junior high pens that has 4 colors around it. So when yes, I got 2 versions though. I got the one that has turquoise, purple, pink, and lime green. And then I have the one that has the primary colors. So I use that in my planner to let me know if I'm being productive. And if it's going too many colors that are for the household and not enough colors for the green for my job, then I got to make some adjustments for that week. But I think the answer to that question is just keeping a list and trying to make sure that everything is in harmony.
I like that harmony part. That I'm gonna definitely steal that from you. Like that because I think that just makes so much sense though. Like, everything isn't gonna balance out, but that doesn't mean it's not balanced. You know what I'm saying? Everything might, or let me say different. Everything might not be equally balanced, but that don't mean your life isn't balanced. You know, right. Some things, like at certain particular times, just take more attention than other things, but that don't mean it ain't equally balanced.
Exactly. And that's what I've had to learn.
What other questions you got, Cam?
Let me see. I'm going through the comments right here. People are just throwing hearts. They just loving Tanjareen. They're just giving you hearts and Tanjareen memes or Tanjareen little emojis. That's awesome. And
thank you. Those are my favorite. And you guys, make sure when you finish this live, the people watching, please put comments under it on their page, because all these comments go away as soon as the live is over. So please don't make it look like nobody watched this episode. Go under the page and leave another comment and some hearts and some emojis.
I like that. Okay. One thing, Tanjareen, one question I wanted to ask. Now, I wanted to ask you this. I just get a vibe from you. Did you by any chance get a chance see the Chris Rock special and all of the talk about how he responded to the Oscar situation? I gotta ask her. She's so real. I want to hear her response on that. What if she said it?
Yes, I did see it. I saw it the night it came out. I was out at an event, so I didn't get to watch it live. But as soon as I got home, he and I sat there and watched it. Yes, we did.
Topic, but I want to get your point of view from a woman's point of view of the whole situation. What did you think of that? Like, that's the hot topic right now. But from a woman's point of view, and I guess not even necessarily from like a Jada in a sense, but like a woman looking on the outside from the whole thing, from that to him responding. How do you look at that? Did you look at that like that was something like a lot of people we passed it? I've seen a lot of people saying it's old news, like that type of thing. But from a female comic, how did you see that or view that?
Well, if you go back to last year when the hit happened, I felt the hit wasn't warranted because when he made the joke, I didn't. And as somebody who has kinky hair, and I've been through all the issues that women have with hair, and I have friends with alopecia and lupus and all that stuff, when I heard the joke, I immediately remembered the movie that Demi Moore was starring in and how fierce and strong she appeared to be. And I've always seen Jada Pinkett as a fierce and strong person with a short haircut. And when she shaved it, I was like, oh, she's even more fierce. Because whenever I see a woman make the choice to shave her hair, I'm like, that's a bold choice. Because you could easily put a wig on if you're losing your hair. If you have a cancer treatment or something, you could easily not let us know that. But when you shave it, it means you are beautiful and strong and bold enough to let the world see the real face, the real you. So I didn't see it as a disrespectful thing when he made the joke. And when I saw the video, Jada laughed when he said it. So it wasn't until she looked over at Will and saw Will's face that she then started to frown. And then he went up there and hit him. And then she was like, okay, let me stand by him. So in my mind, I was like, I wonder if they were at home and he was like, you know, if he say something about us this time, I'm gonna go up there and smack him. And she was probably like, you so silly. You gonna do it though? You just playing unless you really gonna do it. Like, I feel like it was that kind of conversation before it happened. And then it happened. And then it became the whole world saying, oh, that was a setup because they just wanted to get publicity for the Oscars and publicity to Chris Rock's tour. So now Chris Rock has spent the last 10 months performing jokes around the country so that he could get this set together to come out exactly a year after, because the Oscars are going to be next week. He timed it perfectly. He said some jokes during this tour that people have heard live, but he now has done it on Netflix and made it a little longer, and that's why he was nervous and slipped up. But I honestly don't think that the first he called it selective outrage, so we were already like, okay, where's this going? And I love the point of it, that we get mad over some things, but we don't really get mad over other things. That was brilliant. And there was a lot of brilliance in this special. I don't think his punchlines were as hard as they used to be. I feel like he had some great premises, and I feel like if some other, like when I saw who he had in there with him, like you got Jerry Seinfeld and you got your brother is Tony Rock, and you have all these amazing Dave Chappelle, all these people who are there with you. Is nobody in your ear saying that's funny, but try it this way too? Or, oh, that's funny, but add this or punch this up or keep going. And when you talk about dating an older woman and the stuff she makes you do, keep going in that area because that is relatable. You're rich and we can relate to our daughter being in France in culinary school, but we can relate to dating somebody who wants us to fix their roof. You know, we can relate to a girl who needs money for an abortion. Like I love when he said, if you got to pay for your own abortion, you should get an abortion. That was freaking hilarious. Stay in that lane because we can relate to, we know about abortions. We don't know about the stuff he was talking about with his rich. But to get back to the point, at the very end, when we've waited all this time to get to that part about Will and that slap, and he fumbled the word, he mixed up the movies, I think he might have been so frustrated, and that might be why he called Jada a bitch, because I hope that he didn't have the intentions of calling her a bitch when he started this special. I hope he hadn't been calling her a bitch for the past 10 months when he was, you know, working this special. I feel like he was so frustrated that he messed up his punchline that he was like, well, let me just go with it. This is live. And then he was like, and that bitch. And I was like, what did she do? She didn't do nothing. Y'all been talking mess about each other back and forth for years, but now she's a bitch. Like, you calling this black woman a bitch on live Netflix? That's an international streaming service. So they translated that in various languages. Bicho, bitch, boy, puta. Like, everybody saw that. So that was a little bit too far, but he's getting him a lot of publicity because my guy Marlon Wayans special came out on the 2nd. Some more special came out a couple days later or a couple days before, but Chris Rock's is the only one we're talking about. Because, you know.
You're right.
So his
S'mores was dope, though. I saw S'mores. It was good. Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, S'mores and Marlins was good, but we're not talking about them. If you, everything is trending is about.
You're right.
You're right.
So he did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
He got us talking about him. But I don't. Yeah. I just hope he didn't mean to call her a bitch. I hope that would accidentally slip out in the moment.
He was doing well, and he was stating facts, and it was funny. And then when he said bitch, I'm like, no, it's not gonna go over right. Like, it was unnecessary. He didn't need to say that at all because he was killing.
He didn't, because like you said, everything else he was saying about them was true. It's like, yeah, you're not mad at me, Will. You mad at the fact that you've been embarrassed by this woman. You came on Red Table Talk and had to talk about the affair she had. People are making fun of you. You're mad at the situation. You're mad at being embarrassed because you knew this was the situation, but now the world knows it. And men are not supposed to get cheated on. They're supposed to do the cheating according to America. So it was when everybody knew they were in an open marriage and everybody was cool with it because they just assumed it meant that Will was off having sex with his girlfriend. They're like, oh yeah, open marriage good for them. But the second they heard that Jada did something, it's like, oh. And they had all these names to call her. And it's like, it's the same marriage, y'all. Y'all realize that, right? I was cool with it before, but don't get me started.
Somebody's asking,
go ahead.
Somebody's asking, when is Shoot Your Shot coming back?
Hopefully this month. Okay. I'm trying to work it out for this month. I was going to set a date, and then I remembered I hadn't finished my taxes. And business taxes are due on March 15th. And today is March 6th. But I would like for it to come back this month. And if it doesn't come back this month, it will absolutely come back in April because I miss doing the show. And I have not done my dating show, the first and only interactive quarantine dating game show that I started in April of 2020. I haven't done it since February of last year. So it's been over a year. I miss it. And I'm going to bring it back.
That's actually a very good transition. I know we got to wrap it up. Things come to an end, but I wanted to ask you about those. So I'm glad that was the question that you brought up. So they are coming back. Your 2 shows are coming back after taxes get done.
Yes, I'm still doing Tanjareen's Top Talent. That's my show. I started both of these shows during the quarantine in April 2020. Tanjareen's Top Talent was every Tuesday. It was called Tanjareen Tuesday, and then every Thursday was Shoot Your Shot. Then I started shooting TV shows. I started, just being super busy, and people started going back to work, so they weren't home in the middle of the day to watch this stuff. And for various reasons, I started to just ease up off the schedule. So Tanjareen's Top Talent is now every other Tuesday, but it's still happening. So I just did it last Tuesday. The next one will be next week, and then Shoot Your Shot will be back soon.
Okay, perfect. And then my last question, I always want to end on this one because, again, coming up in comedy is not only a way to give flowers to those who's doing it big right now, but also a way to get some advice from those who are doing it big for the young and up-and-coming comedians, actresses, people who are trying to get into the industry. What advice would you give those young women, especially for Women's History Month? I want to focus on the young women coming up in their travels. What advice would you have for them?
I think that the advice I would give to young women coming up is to be fearless, to set your morals ahead of time because you're going to be tempted, you're going to be tested, and to work out your material as often as possible so that nobody can deny you stage time based on you not giving them a sexual favor. If you're funny, you're funny. If you're ready and the word gets around that you're ready, then you can host your own rooms and invite people to be on your show, and you don't need to ask anybody else to give you something. That's the whole point of social media and us content creators. It's like, okay, in the middle of me auditioning and waiting on somebody to give me a job, I'm gonna give myself a job. So I'm gonna shoot something with my phone, edit it in an app on my phone or on my computer, and I'm gonna put it out and see what y'all think of it. Same thing with comedy. If you're a woman or if you're not, instead of depending on other people and asking them to let you do their show, start your own show. Or before that, do as many open mics as you can and just keep working out 5 minutes at a time. Next thing you know, you got a nice little 20-minute set, 30-minute set until you're ready to, move on to a special or something. But just keep working your craft. Don't let anybody control how far you go in your career. And if you can find a little coffee shop in your neighborhood, ask them if you can bring some customers in by doing an open mic, maybe have a guitarist in the middle of it or something. I don't know, change the vibe. And they're usually willing to do that. And now you've got a new venue, you've got an opportunity to continue to grow. It's a win.
And some dude on here named CT is dope is saying you are fine AF. Does he have a chance with you?
I don't know. CT is dope because I'm married. I mean, I got this amazing orange sapphire ring on here with 14 little diamonds because we got married on 5/14/14, and our 9-year anniversary is in 2 months. And his name happens to be CT. So, hi, husband. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Love you. And shout out to Keena Key. She's watching. And somebody had a question. Bright Boy wanted to know if there's something in comedy that I wanted to try that I haven't.
Yes,
tried. Do we have time for me to try to answer that or no? Something in comedy I'd like to try that I haven't tried would be to have Tanjareen's Top Talent be live and me on stage doing comedy and bringing the acts in person on a stage. That's a goal that I have, to make Tanjareen's Top Talent be live and have it be comedy, and maybe BT Kingsley can help me co-host it and do hip hop, because BT Kingsley is a great comedian, but he's also an amazing rapper. And there's not enough places where rap venues can come in and perform without it being some ghetto hood mess. So I would love to have Tanjareen's Top Talent be live and me get to continue to work on my comedy. And I would also love to do some impersonations. I've never tried that, but when I used to do sketch comedy, I was doing them. But I'd like to incorporate that into my comedy, but I haven't tried. So thank you for your question, Bright Boy.
Excellent. So we're gonna wrap it up on that one. I want to wish you and CT congratulations on your anniversary. Ain't nothing better than black love, man.
That's right.
Anything, we out of here, Cam?
Yep, we out of here, man. Thank you so much, Tanjareen. We appreciate it. My wife's name is Tangie, so I appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, for
Oh,
real?
yeah.
I didn't know that. Tangie. And people know I don't like to be called Tangie
Right.
because there are people who actually are named
Yeah.
Tangie. So, hey,
That's
Tangie.
dope. So yes, thank you for helping us kick off our Women's History Month. We truly appreciate you, man. That advice for the up and coming women, or like up and coming, people, but directing that towards women, I think is just so dope. We always hear like advice given to young men, even if it's the same advice that you're giving. We always hear it for young men. But when you were saying it, it's like I can envision a young woman who's interested in hearing that advice from a woman who's successful, who had to get it. That painted a picture in my head. That's just dope, man. Just to see somebody who's doing it, somebody's doing it big, and like to give you that advice, like. So thank you for that. That's what I'm getting at. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
We are bringing it all to
Hey,
a close, guys. So again, this is another episode of Coming Up in Comedy. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
See y'all. Peace.